Rocks Farming Company, and we grow sugarcane on about 2,600 hectares of cane land. We've been farming here for the last 30 years. Prior to that, we were a cattle farming operation that we've switched over to growing sugarcane, and in that time, it's pretty much started from scratch. We've set up this farm to be one of the most efficient farms that we could make. One of the key things when we first started development is we wanted an integrated water system that we were able to bring water onto the farm, use it efficiently, capture the water that ran off our paddocks, reuse that water into other paddocks, minimise the runoff off this farm so that we made the most efficient use of water.
This map, to put it into some perspective, it's 10 kilometres from that side to that side, and it's roughly 4 kilometres to this piece here. This farm is 2,639 hectares, all under irrigation. Each section of the farm and each step of the way, there's been efficiencies built in, mainly in collection of water, use of water, and making sure that we capture any runoff from any of this land goes into reclaims here, here and here. And if any water is going to escape from the farm, it's pumped from here back into a lake, or what we call a lake, which is a balance and storage. This is a culmination of two sunwater drains. These two sunwater drains we straightened up, fixed up, created proper low flows, proper structures. Those two drains actually catch runoff water from roughly 5,000 hectares upstream. That 5,000 hectares drainage water comes into here. We constructed this here, which is 1 kilometre long and 2.5 metres deep. From this water infrastructure here, the water that we capture from runoff, we irrigate 700 hectares. On the end of this infrastructure, we have a weir with a control gate, and we have another pump on the other side of it. So what happens is that we absolutely minimise loss of any irrigation water or any runoff from any other farm, and we reuse that into this 700 hectares. So this is something that we, as a company, as a corporate and as an operation, I'm extremely proud of, because I can stand in front of anybody in a city, I can stand in anybody in a university or a school and say, we can actually show you what we've done to enhance the land on which we live and from which we make our living. And this is a clear demonstration of that. We are not all environmental vandals. We are doing our utmost best to use what we have the best way we can, with the most efficient way we can, to actually etch out a living and make produce, export produce, to make Australia great.
Your land is where you make your living, so it has to be looked after. You can't abuse it or ignore it, because it's not going to yield for you. It's a relationship. It's a marriage of two parties, the farmer and the land.
Just giving you a brief outline of what we've done here with my son and I. This line here basically delineates the older part of the Burdekin, which is the delta managed by the Lower Burdekin water, and the newer part, the Briar, which falls under the management of Sunwater for irrigation. But our story is here in the delta, and that's our farms in the delta here. As you see them now, is a completely different picture to what they were 5 years ago, 6 years ago. When we started on this journey, our farm layout was a patchwork like the rest of the neighbouring properties. They were just bits and pieces and all over the place. That was 2014, when my son and I decided, well, if we're going to stay in this business and make a business out of it, we really need to make some changes. 2021, that's our new farm layout. You can see the change has been phenomenal. Here we're at the site of our first man-made recycle pit. We've capitalised on the natural fall of the land. So all this water, approximately here, we have 80 hectares of land that drains all to this point, and there's the recycle pump over there, pumps it back into the system and it's reused. So no irrigation water is lost off farm here. It's everything that runs out of the fields is captured here and pumped back to the top of the farm. So this water's coming off the irrigation set that's running and running back into the recycle pit. This evening when I put the next set on, I'll be pumping this water back onto the paddock. So
Nothing goes to waste when you've got the system set up to manage it.
So that's a basic insight into what we've done here in the last 5 years. It's a story about change. We're building for the future, building capacity into our system, so we've got irrigation efficiencies, machinery efficiencies, harvesting efficiencies. It's all goes hand in hand with a positive outcome and a positive future for our operation.
It's just me and the old man here, running 330 hectares, which gets busy. Sugarcane, mung beans and soybeans at the moment is basically what we're working on. First in the morning, we run around and check all the pumps and basically check everything's running properly, switch sets over, whatever we need to do. That's the first job for the day. So just checking channel height here, make sure the pontoon's still floating in clean water, and everything seems to be good. All right, so down here, this is basically the bottom of the point. So this is our spillway, which basically, this runs down to here, and this is the lowest point, and everything from here. If there's water run over here, that means everything is chock-a-block. And with that GPS leveling now on the excavator, we've managed to get everything back on the grade it's meant to be, so it's all working fine at the moment. As you can see, it's dry.
We started here probably 30 years ago. We were one of the first farms to come to BRIA when the government decided to resume this property and subdivide up for farms. We cleared it, levelled it, and it's been a slow process the last 30 years. We've created something and the district's prospered from it. If you look around, it's environmentally friendly, gone to great lengths as far as sediment runoff, water recycling systems, spray programs, farming techniques, applications of fertilisers. Come a long, long way from, what was farmed 100 years ago to something very environmentally friendly, and that will progress in time. So yeah, look, yeah, we're as one. We try and work with nature. We respect it, and hopefully it respects us, so that there's a bond there, and we both move forward.